is everything I cooked for my twin toddlers over the weekend. The whole of last week they were home because I had a 1 week summer break. So they're resuming nursery on Monday and I decided to stock up their food, which is something I do every weekend or every 2 weeks. It saves me a lot of time and I don't have to worry about what they'll have for breakfast, lunch or dinner. I just flip out food from the fridge or freezer and put into the microwave. And in a few minutes, food is ready. I've been doing this since I introduced solids to them at 6 months and it just saves me a whole lot of time and energy. Though they still eat other meals in between, meals I don't have to cook and store, but these ones are just to make sure they always have something to eat in the fridge or freezer, and that way even if I'm not home, anyone can sort out their meals. The first thing I made was this fried rice. I make sure I incorporate a lot of vegetables in their meals, and they love vegetables. I hardly ever give them plain meals. The fried rice came out so well, though I forgot to add green peas. I'm also making jollof rice, so I'm going to ensure I add green peas to the jollof rice. I'm making my paste now. I'm going to be using this for jollof rice and for macaroni. Macaroni is another meal they love so much and they hardly ever reject. So we almost always have macaroni at home because it's one of their favorite meals. I made this and the jollof rice side by side because I wanted to save time. And I don't like spending too much time in the kitchen, so I try to do everything as fast as possible. And because they do not still like meat in big chunks, I like to cut the meat into smaller pieces and then I still give them the big chunks on the side, so that way even if they don't eat so much of the big chunks of meat, they still get to eat a lot of meat inside their food. So I do this mostly for meals like potato porridge, rice, pasta, so that way they don't have a choice but to eat the meat inside the food. And I use mostly chicken, corned beef or minced meat for this. So here I was done with the first set of 3 and I moved on to the next. I'm making potato porridge as the 4th meal. I make this with scrambled eggs, and this is also another meal they love so much, and I try to use a lot of eggs in their meal so they can have enough protein. Then I served them some of this for lunch. Then I packed the food into smaller bowls and labeled each bowl, so when I bring it out of the fridge or freezer, I can easily tell which food is in which plate without having to open it up. The last thing I made was this cupcakes. I always use cake mix because ain't nobody making cupcakes from scratch. They love cakes a lot, so I made this and they don't really like the sprinkles when they are hot, so I poured it into the mix and just baked everything. And then it was done and they had this for dinner. To make it more enticing, I put some whipped cream over it and I still went ahead to sprinkle some sprinkles on top. Since they don't really like the sprinkles on top, I'll let it dissolve for a bit before I serve them. And added some grapes. I served them this with some ice cream. So let me know, do you make your kids meals on the go or do you make them and store up like I do? What method works best for you? Bye guys.